Of a Parabola with Meghan, Lauren, Barrett, Valexa, Orelien, and Zoe Lukas. What is a parabola? A parabola is a symmetrical U-shaped graph for quadratic equations. The equation for this graph is x squared plus 6x plus 5, which equals 0. The vertex is on every single parabola everywhere, so every parabola has a vertex. It can either be the minimum or the maximum, which is just the opposite. Every parabola also has a y-intercept, and most of them have x-intercepts as well. Next, we have vertex form. Vertex form is y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. H and k are the x and y values of the vertex. The negative sign in front of the h shows that the h value will be its opposite in the vertex and determining the direction of the graph, either left or right. K is what determines if the graph is going up or down. The A in front determines if the parabola opens up or opens down, and if the graph is wide, narrow, or normal. Next is standard form. Standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. C is always the y-intercept in standard form. A is usually the most important part of standard form because it determines a lot of the properties of the graph. If the value of A is increased, then the parabola is narrow. If A is positive, the parabola opens upward, but if A is negative, then the parabola opens downwards. Next we have is the parent function. The parent function for parabola graphs is y equals x squared, and it's just the x being squared starting at the origin. Some examples of changes to the parent function are y equals x squared minus 2. This is the parent function, but it's shifted down 2 spaces, so the vertex is 0, negative 2. Another example is y equals x plus 3 squared plus 2. This is the parent function, but it's shifted left 3 and down 2. The vertex is at negative 3, 2 because of the shift.
Shifts. In standard form, shifts, the graph opens upward because the a value is plus 1. It does not intersect at the x-axis. For vertex form, the graph opens up and is shifted left 2 and up down in this equation because plus 2 minus 1. X squared plus 2x minus 1. This graph opens up and is over 1 and down 2 from their origin. It is normal because it is plus 1. This equation, y equals negative x plus 2 squared plus 2. This graph would open downward because of the negative in front. It is shifted left 2 and up 2. How to find the x-intercept? You can find the x-intercept by using a quadratic equation. The quadratic equation formula is x equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac in parentheses over 2a. This is an example of how you would use the quadratic equation. You can also find the x-intercepts by using square roots. This is an example of using square roots when we have in square roots x squared equals 81. You can also find the x-intercept by factoring. This is an example of factoring, and it is x squared plus 5x minus 24. For factoring, you would figure out what you could get you negative 24 and also get you to 5x. This is how you would use factoring to find the y-intercept. To graph on the calculator for the x-intercept, you put in y equals. You click graph, click second, and then trace, and then choose 0, and then do left bound on one point and right bound, and then enter. Repeat if there is greater than 1. How to find the y-intercept. You can find the y-intercept by standard form. The c value is the point where the parabola intersects in the y-axis. In this example, it's -3, so you would go down, and that would be the y-intercept. You can also find the y-intercept by vertex form by, in the calculator, write the equation of the y on the column y equals button, press the graph button, and then press trace button and move to the point right or left to the y-intercept point. Range. The range is all possible x values that make the function valid. To find it, does this graph have a max or min? To find this out, the vertex and then look at the k value. If k is a min, the graph can't go less than k. If the graph is max, k can't go more than k. If it's a max, it would be a downward equation. Domain. Domain is the x values that make the function valid. In these examples, it's 2, 4, and 3, because those would be the x values. This is an example of where the domain would be 2. After the equation, this is the x value.
And those are the properties of a parabola.